Get ready, Saiyan! Now you'll face my blade!
What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super deck profile. Today was our first chance to play with the new Clash of Fate stuff in a tournament. We didn't get to have a tournament last weekend because there was a Magic the Gathering pre-release that kind of took up our venue. So this was our first chance to really get to play test some of the stuff. And of course, if you guys know me, if you guys have been here on the channel, you know that the first leader we were going to have to try out was my boy Bardock.
Tora! Fasha! This is for you!
This Bardock leader is so damn good. Now, I like all the Bardock leaders for certain things. My favorite was still the set 3 Bardock leader because the +5 he gets once per turn when a Saiyan was KO'd was pretty powerful. But this Bardock is in a league of his own. His auto is Burst 2. When he attacks a leader card, draw a card, he gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. What I don't like is Burst 2. I don't like Burst on a leader attack. Burst on, like, when this card is played, like, as a one-time thing is fine, but Burst when you attack. And I realize, like, you know, it goes along with some of the skills in the deck, but I personally just don't like Burst. When you're 4 or less life, he gets untapped 2 energy, which is super nice because that draw power is just not as necessary. Awakened, he is Bardock, Hope of the Saiyans. This side is just so damn OP, and just a few things would have made this leader busted as all hell if Bandai had even just remotely looked away for half a second and designed it as terribly as they have some of the other cards in this game. The auto is Sparking 5 when this card attacks. Draw a card and gains plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, so he doesn't have to attack a leader, and he's always going to be 20,000. His other auto says, when this card is attacked, if a Bardock's crew card is in your drop area, you may choose one card from your life and place it in your drop area. If you do, negate the attack. It's not a counter. It's not once per turn. You can get around everything with it. You can get around so many different abilities that normally you couldn't with counterplay cards and stuff like that. And since it's not once per turn, there's so many times that you can use that ability and just prevent yourself from getting just washed. Now, luckily, they made it to where you have to place the card from your life in your drop area, because if it went to your hand, this leader would be so damn good, and he's already probably one of the best blue leaders that we have in the game, even outside of the Bardock's crew support. Up first, we have Bardock's side chick, Planetary Invader Fasha. She's a 1-cost 5,000. It says when you play this card, look it up to the top 5 cards from your deck, choose a Bardock's crew among them, and add it to your hand. Now, we did have 4, and you're probably going, why the hell is there not 4? Well, we had 4, and I had taken one of them out, and I'll explain what I took it out for later when I get to that point. But otherwise, we should be running 4. And I want to say that I regret not running 4, but it didn't turn out as terribly as it could have. Then we've got Bardock's best friend, Planetary Invader Tora. He's a 1-cost 5,000 that says, when you play this card, choose up to 1 Bardock's crew in your drop area and add it to your hand. In hindsight, I should have taken one of these Tora out instead of one of the Fasha. I like Tora better as a character, and I thought with the burst that I was always going to have a Bardock's crew to add back to my hand with this Tora, which I did, but I still feel like this would have been the better card to run at 3 instead of the Fasha. Then we ran 4 Burnished Bonds Tora. He's a 3-cost 15,000 with Barrier. His permanent says if there's a Bardock's crew in your drop, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So you get to play him for 2 energy, and his activate main for 3 blue says place this card in its own drop area, choose up to 1 Final Strike Bardock from your deck or drop area and play it, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. This card right here is the best way to bring out that Bardock, And since he's got barrier, you can just play him and leave him in active mode if you need to. This Tora is easily one of the main pieces to this deck's engine, and you're always going to want to protect this card, and you're gonna want to play him as soon as you can. The earlier you get him out, the earlier you get out that Final Strike Bardock. Then we ran 3 Burnished Bonds Fasha.
You lazy bum.
She's a 3 cost 15,000 with critical. She's got the same permanent. If you have a Bardock crew in your drop, reduce the energy cost by 1. And her activate main says, place this card in the owner's drop area, choose up to 1 Bardock's crew in your battle area, and switch it to active mode. So you're going to use her along with Final Strike Bardock to trigger its ability and give him a second chance to attack. Again, we had 4 in the deck, and we kind of would have wanted 4 in the deck, but she's just not as necessary. The Tora is much better than the Burnished Bonds Fasha as far as setting yourself up for that Bardock play. Then we've got the star of the deck himself, Final Strike Bardock.
This is for all the people we killed in your name! Here! Have it!
He's a 5 cost 25,000. This is the card that you're going to play via the Burnished Bonds Tora's ability. He also has barrier, and he has the permanent that says there can only be 1 Final Strike Bardock in your battle area. I don't like that they had that limitation, because there's times that I could have had 2 of them on the board, but I mean, I guess they just didn't want you discarding more than 1 card at a time, because, you know, that's too bad. That's too bad of a skill to have in this game. It's okay for Gogeta, but not for Bardock. When this card is switched from rest mode to active mode, if your leader card is a Bardock's crew card, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it at the bottom of their deck. And with the Fasha, you're going to put her in the drop area, switch him back to active mode, your opponent's going to discard again, and then he's going to get another free attack in as well. Then, since this was our last chance to get to run a playset of him, we had 4 Unyielding Spirit Trunks. During the turn, when you combo with this card, if your leader is blue, choose 1 of your energy and switch to active mode. We did already have the deck set to where we only had 1 in the main deck. Because with other TCG that I've played in the past, when we had a ban list that we were preparing for, we would all just start to play according to the ban list. But when I found out that nobody else was doing that for our tournament today, I was like, well, shit, I'm going to run 4 Trunks because this card's just too good. That's why it got limited to 1 in the first place. But I would still run 1 with every blue leader because it is a free combo and it's a free extra energy that you can use. So still definitely a great card. But because we did decide to add in the other 3 Unyielding Spirit Trunks, we had to figure out what to take out of the deck. And that's where the other Planetary Invaders came in. We took out 1 of the Planetary Fashas and the Burnished Bonds Fasha, just so that we had room in the deck. And so these will definitely be going back in the deck, since I'll have to now take 3 of the Trunks out. Then we've got our super combo. It's Great Saiyaman Town Hero. Now, I know we could have run the Tulo super combo that came in the set. The reason that I didn't is because I feel like, even though he fits thematically, the only reason to run the Tulo super combo is if you were running the Future Punch, which is not really a punch anyways. But if you're not playing that extra card, then there's no reason to run Tulo over the Gohan, because the sparking, you're gonna, especially with the leader's ability, you're gonna hit 5 cards by your second turn, and then you've got your sparking ready for your super combo. So we went ahead and ran the Gohans because it's just a better super combo card. And who knows, we might end up changing the deck up a bit to try out the Tulo with the extra card, but right now Gohan was vastly superior with this deck. Then we've got Bardock's Lucky Lady Jean, Mother of Hope. We ran 4 of her because she is basically an extra playset of super combos. When you combo with this card, if one of your blue Bardock cards is being attacked, this card gets plus 5,000 combo power for the duration of the turn. So she already has 5,000 combo power, plus an additional 5,000. So it's 10,000, and that's just as a blue Bardock card. So whether it is your Final Strike Bardock, whether it is your leader, it's an extra 10,000 combo power. This Jean came in handy so many times today. Just whether it was just trying to avoid crit damage, trying to keep stuff alive, or just out comboing when my opponent made big pushes. Like, she put in a ridiculous amount of work. Then we've got one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's Tora's Red Armband.
Good luck, old friend.
It's a 4-cost extra card that says, activate main. If your leader card is a Bardock's crew, choose one blue Tora card from your drop area and send it to your warp. Draw 4 cards. Choose up to 1 Final Strike Bardock in your battle area. It gets plus 10,000 power. Well, switch to active mode. It gets plus 10,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. And at the end of the turn, choose one of your energy and switch it to active mode. So for 4 energy, essentially 3, because you're going to get to switch 1 back at the end of the turn, you're giving your Bardock another attack, this time for double strike, with an additional 10,000 power. And you're drawing 4 cards, which is a bunch of potential combo power as well. This card is amazing. We only ran 3 because that was the 4th card, or that was the 3rd card we took out of the deck for the 4th Unyielding Spirit Trunks. So that'll definitely be going back in as well. But I wasn't too upset about it because we only had 3 SPRs. And although Unyielding Spirit Trunks will be limited to 1 within the week, one card that has not been limited to 1 and still allows us to manipulate our energy is good old Senzu Bean. It's our 1-cost activate battle. It says choose one of your cards, gains plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, and then you get to switch 2 of your energy to active mode. So not as versatile as the Trunks, since you can play the Trunks when you have no open energy, but the Senzu is better in a way. So at least we do have 4 Senzu Beans. Now if they limited Senzu and Trunks, that would be a bit much, and I'd probably be a little bit more upset with it. Up next, we've got our negate. We ran 4 Dimension Magic because this is one of the best negates in the game. Being able to choose a card from your life instead of paying the energy cost and then switching 2 of your energy to active mode is just too damn good. Now, I considered running the negate for the Bardock leader, but it just didn't seem as viable compared to Dimension Magic, just like why we ran the Great Saiyaman Super Combo over the Tulo Super Combo. Now, the upside to the other negate is you can discard a blue card to, add it back to your hand, so you have more negates, which in a way could be helpful, but having the sparking ability and being able to play it when you have no open energy is really nice as well. Maybe I'll end up running a combination of the two, but just for GP right now, we decided that 4 Dimension Magic was the right way to go. Now, originally when I built this deck, I had wanted to splash in a good chunk of yellow because Bardock, when we first got Bardock support and the Great Ape support, it was all yellow, and I wanted to find a way to run the old support with the new support, and it kind of works out. I just didn't have enough room for as much of the stuff as I had planned, so we ended up whittling it down to what we currently have, starting with 3
Planet Vegeta.
Just because this card is so nice, we can play it, we can add anything in the deck to our hand besides the 5-drop Bardock, which we don't want anyways in our hand. So we either are going to add the Tora to our hand, if we wanted to add our super combo, if we wanted to add the Gene, which is another super combo basically. Like, it was just, Planet Vegeta was just too damn good in this deck, since everything in the deck is Saiyans. Then since we did have plenty of targets for Fascia, we ran 3 Hidden Power Great Ape Fascia. During the turn at the end of the battle, after you combo with this card, you get to choose up to 1 Fascia in your battle area and evolve it onto this card. So the perfect target is obviously going to be that 1-drop Fascia that you're not doing jack shit with. And when a card evolves into this card, you choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and switch them to rest mode. So that allows you to being able to direct your attacks towards your opponent's battle cards, especially if they had stuff that they didn't want you to attack, and it kind of eliminated some of their blockers as well, since they can't block while they're in rest mode. Then lastly, we had 3 Hidden Power Great Ape Toras to go along with the 1-drop Toras. He also comes into play At the end of the battle, after you combo with him, he also evolves onto a Tora, so you're going to use the one-drop Toras to evolve him. And when he evolves into this card, you choose an opponent's battle card in rest mode and KO it. So he can KO any of the problematic cards that you have in the deck. So it was really nice, little bit of board control, getting to not only take stuff off the board, but have a big blocker on the board that can not only attack, but then still defend us because of the Planet Vegeta card. For our side deck, we had to improvise just a little bit since some of our cards for our side deck were sitting on our desk at home, along with some other half-built decks that we didn't get to complete before we went to the tournament today. So we did have to make a few changes. Luckily, I had most of the stuff that I wanted for the side deck, and one of the immediate cards that came to mind was going to be Jean, the Family of Justice. She's your free blocker when you have a Bardock in your battle area or your leader area, so you can literally play her free any freaking time because your leader is Bardock. And having free blockers you can play in this game is great, as long as they don't have an ability to KO it before you can use it to block. Then, because this deck loves having super combos and cards that serve as super combos, we also sided 3 Prodigal Dynasty Son Goten. When you combo with him, if you're comboing onto a yellow battle card, then it gains an additional 10,000, so it's 15,000 combo power, mainly directed towards the Fascia and Tora apes. Then, since we had a bit of yellow in the deck, I decided to side in 2 Flying Nimbus. They didn't do as well as I wanted them to do, mainly because I only drew one of them the entire day. And the time that I did draw it, I not only did not have a yellow card to charge to be able to play it in the first place, I never drew another yellow card to be able to pitch for the ability to prevent my opponent from attacking me over and over again. So, still a great card to run in the deck, or even the side deck. I didn't get to play it because my luck today just would not allow it. Then, going along with the theme of the deck, we sided 3 Burnish Bonds Borgos, just for those decks that like to dick around with their energy. Not really that big of a deal, I guess, outside of maybe like Soul Striker, because for the most part, since it doesn't trigger on Awakens, you're not going to hit a lot of things besides like Soul Striker and Senzu Bean, stuff like that. So, but he was in there just as a backup in case I needed him. And with him fitting the Bardock's True theme, I could get him and play him at any time I needed. Then we've got my favorite counter package for the side deck for blue leaders. 2 Group Leader Pilaf and 2 Mafuba. Just generally great against anything and everything. Especially the ridiculous amount of Shenron decks that are running around. The Group Leader Pilaf can rip the triple attack off of any battle card, and the Mafuba can just say fuck the battle card entirely and just remove it from the board for 2 turns. Today we actually had a better turnout than we usually do, so we got to play an extra round today. Round 1 we played against the new Broly BR from the Broly pack. Although the deck he was playing was pretty much generic red and yellow stuff. We did actually, Game 2, he chain attacked Xenodust twice in Game 2, and we still came out on top, so we TO'd that deck pretty easily. Round 2, we played against the red Frieza swap engine from Clash of Fates, and that shit goes hard, and it goes fast. Especially when they drop the secret rare. Luckily, thanks to Bardock's Awakened ability, we don't give a shit about the secret rare, and it did kind of give me a sense of joy having Bardock beat the shit out of Frieza. So that was nice, but the ridiculousness of the Frieza swap is so fast, especially compared to the Goku lineage swap engine. It's literally twice as fast as that shit, and that Frieza having double strike crit is ridiculous as well. I think we actually had to combo out of that. Our opponent got up to 61,000. We had to combo 65,000 out of it, and we could not have done it without that Jean pseudo super combo. Round 3, we had to play against Shenron Gogeta. I was hoping we could get away with not having to play against any bullshit, but of course that just was not meant to be. We did manage to take Game 1, which took a ridiculous amount of time for our match. And Game 2, we went into a draw. Game 1, he actually went all in with At All Costs Vegeta. Game 1, he played the Gogeta, but he didn't attack with it. Ripped our hand away. Proceeded to use At All Costs Vegeta, giving him the triple attack with his ability active. And luckily we had 4 cards in life, we had 2 open energy, and we had drawn into a Dimension Magic negate off of the Gogeta's ability. So we actually had everything we needed to stop not only the 3 attacks from the Vegeta, but 2 more attacks from 2 separate Preface of Recovery Gokus as well. And then game 2, we went into time and drew that match. So we took that one. I guess, I don't know if you count that as a 2-0. That's a 1-0-1. I'm not quite sure how you would label that one. But essentially it listed us as being 3-0. So we had to have an extra round, which resulted in us playing against another Broly BR leader. But this time he was running Goku's lineage. And me being the dumbass that I am, and having left my Chronoas at home, I got completely washed by Shugesh. I mean, it came close at certain points, but when Shugesh just comes in and you drop a Gohan and just fucks your entire board, like, you can't get a board presence. It's not possible. And without Chronoas, it's really hard to go up against Shugesh. So, of course, he ended up taking it there, but with 0 playtesting at all, and with me having finally completed my list last night and not getting to playtest it at all before the tournament, this deck did extremely well, and I think this deck really could have a place in the meta, especially this Bardock leader, because that awakened ability to just constantly negate attacks and not being limited to once per turn is just too damn good. But that's going to do it for this deck profile. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys have been enjoying using the Bardock's crew stuff from Clash of Fates, if you have a different build, be sure to let me know in the comments below some of the things that you had differently, because honestly I would like to find different ways to play it. I might take the yellow out. Like I said, I had a lot more yellow initially planned for the deck, and there wasn't room for that, plus the blue stuff. And I preferred to take the yellow stuff out before the blue. So I might try and run just some mono blue with it. Perhaps maybe objections, just to get energy up faster, to get up the Final Strike Bardock, and maybe the Toro's armband as well. Not really sure there. And let me know what you guys think of the rest of Clash of Fates as well, because I think a lot of it has potential, but I think the Bardock's crew and the Frieza swap are definitely going to have a good place in the meta. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get the frig out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.